Hey, Nista family, how are you? I hope you are doing incredibly well. I hope that you are in good health, that you're in good spirits, and that your mind is in a place of peace, joy, and tranquility. So, I got a little story for you guys. So, I had a medical bill. I got a procedure done some years back. I was suffering with heavy menstruals, which I'm noticing a lot of black women are suffering with. And it gives us very low iron levels. Um, and because of that, it makes us really sick. It makes us really tired. And sometimes, the menstruals are so bad that it interferes with work, it interferes with sleep. The cramping is so bad that you just can't even go throughout your daily day without wanting to lay down or take some kind of pain killers. And I dealt with that for many, many, many years until the point where my iron levels were so low. The doctor said that I could possibly have a heart attack, because what happens is if you continuously go without getting some type of treatment, or either iron transfusion or blood transfusion, it wears and tears on the heart. So I did not want that to happen. I try my best to always be proactive, and I try my best to not put myself in situations where it blows up in my face. When I'm in any type of thing, medically, financially, relationship wise, I try to hurry up and handle it. I don't want to be forced in any situation. I try to hurry up and handle it. Am I good at it all the time? No, but I give it my best. So, especially now that I'm older, I really do. So, anywho, the first doctor told me that I needed a hysterectomy. And I'm noticing for African American women, the first thing they always throw at us is a hysterectomy. And I'm like, why are they always trying to castrate us? There has to be some other options out there. So I did not get it done right away because of that reason and another reason that I can't discuss right now. But over time, I had started at this new job working at a OBGYN as a phlebotomist there. And I started talking to the doctors there about my situation, what was going on with me. And they advised me of something called an ablation. Now, one of the doctors there, she did the ablations in office with local anesthesia. But the head doctor over that group takes you into the hospital because she wants to put you under just in case anything happens or whatever the case may be. She does not like to do those procedures in the office. So, and when I looked at it, I noticed the one that does it in the office, she's an old school doctor. The newer doctor, which is younger, she likes to do them in the hospital. So in any case, I got educated on it, and I realized that this was what I needed to do. I was more comfortable with this because after doing my research about the hysterectomy and how invasive it is and all the different things I may experience and I'll go through right now at that stage of my life and dealing with my gastroparesis, my irritable bowel syndrome, with the colon disease, all those different things, I decided I did not want to go that far into it. So I finally, since working there, they were so nice. They agreed to do my procedure. The doctor that was over that practice, and they did my procedure. And some people that have been following me for a long time, I took you guys along on that journey. But they did the procedure, and even when they did the procedure, they had some complications with my breathing and also putting me to sleep. So they had to give me extra anesthesia, which they said they gave me enough anesthesia for a linebacker. They could not understand why I was fighting so much in my sleep that I would not calm down. It was like to the point they said I was like shaking the table, moving my legs, and they had to keep giving me more anesthesia, which in return made it very hard for me to wake up, and my body felt like dead weight for like a week. I was in excruciating pain, muscle spasms, joint pain, fever. Almost felt like my body had died, but my mind was wide awake. And she told me that because of the heavy doses of anesthesia, and me being under, that's what happens as a result. So anyway, they also intubated me. And they came out and told my daughter that they had to intubate me because I was not breathing properly. So anyway, the procedure went well. A lot of people were saying they wouldn't have got it because sometimes your uterus, and when they do an ablation, they burn the wall, the lining of the uterus. So basically, the uterus doesn't shed that skin and those, toxic cells and all the, old stuff in your uterus. It stops shedding. It's not preparing itself to be pregnant, basically. That's why you have your menstrual. Your uterus, every cycle, is preparing itself to be pregnant. I'm done with that. So, they were like, well, your uterus can prepare itself over some years and come back. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Mine has not come back on. No spotting, no nothing. Okay? Nothing at all. God is good. And my iron levels have been great. And because of those complications I was having before the ablation, I used to eat a lot of ice, a whole lot of ice. And it's so funny because when I started my channel years ago, it was Nista the Ice Eater. You go through different stages in life, and then things change as you go through, different stages in life. And I always said I wanted to be true to who Nista was at that time. So at that time, I was, eating ice. Then I went from after eating ice, I was, at the casino all the time. So I was slots Nista. Now I'm just Nista, and this is my life. And I'm not going to change that, and I'm not going to hide or be ashamed of anything, because I said in the very beginning, as I grow, you guys will see it before your eyes, and I will not ever be ashamed to tell my truth, live in my truth, and tell my story. Yes, some things are personal, especially when other people are included in it, like my children, my mother, or people like that. But as for me, I am true to who I am, and I'm going to share that wholeheartedly and without throwing other people under the bus. I never put names out there. I just live in my truth. But anywho, that was a side note. The procedure went okay. Everything was fine. After, they got me to wake up. I came home. I was out of work for like a week. Thank God I hadn't been at that job long. But since the doctor did the procedure, she already knew what was going to go on with my body. So she told me to stay home, hydrate, get myself together, call her in a week for a follow-up, because my body basically had to get reacclimated to daily function. And it was very, very hard and very painful. So maybe about 2 months later, I got a bill in the mail for $1,500. At that time, I was working, but not making as much money as I was used to making. And I was coasting, So a $1,500 medical bill, that was the last thing on my mind, to be totally honest. I was doing me. I wasn't thinking about a $1,500 medical bill. Basically, that was the anesthesia copay. These insurance companies got a whole lot of crap with them. But anyway, that was the anesthesia copay. Now, I had other copays for the procedure, and I paid those. Like, one was like $250, one was $3 something. I had one for like $30. I knocked all those out. But that $1,500 for me, it just was like, it just took my breath away. So every time I would see it, I would keep it in the back of my book, the book that I had. And when the new year coming, I got another book, I will always keep it in the back. And just last year, I decided, because I was working on my credit, and because I paid down so much stuff, and I really changed my life around. And I did that right in front of you guys. That was the only thing that I didn't really touch. And I decided to handle it. Not because it's on my credit report, because it never showed up on my credit report. It went through the medical association it was with, and then it went to a collection agency, and it still did not touch my report. Now, I didn't know that back in 2022, a bill was passed by Biden and Harris that any medical bill under $500, the consumer credit agencies are not allowed to report it, but it has to be under $500. So, knowledge is power. But of course, this bill is over 1,500. So I called the lady this Monday just passed. And no, actually, I didn't call. I had the bill, and you know how the bills have a website you could go on and set up payment agreements or whatever. But for whatever reason, with this bill, it didn't have payment agreement options. It didn't have settlement options. It didn't have any of that. So what I did was I decided I'm going to give them $150, and I'm going to start paying it like $100 every 2 weeks. So I did that first $150 on Monday, and I got a call from the agency. And you know, they get on the call and say, "Hey, hello, is this such and such?" I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Well, we just want to notify you that this is a debt collector. Anything, this call will be monitored for quality assurance. My name is such and such, and I just wanted to let you know you have a debt in the amount of $1,400, no, $1,300, 50, such and some cents. How would you like to handle that today?" And I just said to her, I said, if you look on the record, which I know you did before you called me, I made a $150 payment. I said, Neil, I want to handle this in increments. And she said, well, as a favor, you know, I'll set up a payment plan for you, but we don't usually do that. That is not something that we offer, but I will do it for you as a favor. But I want to make you aware that if you miss one payment, I will send this off to collections. I just want to make you aware. So I said to her, I said, ma'am, I reached out to you guys. I took the initial step. I said, because I want to do what's right. And I believe the word of God says, be a lender and not a borrower. I was a borrower for a long, long time. God has put me in a position where I'm able to bless other people the way I can and also pay my debtors. Okay? So she said, well, I hope you don't take offense to this. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I just want to let you know. And I'm thinking to myself, hold your peace, Tamira. Peace, be still, and let the Lord fight your battles. Because this woman is talking to you like you are ignorant nobody that just want to get over. And I wanted to hang up this phone so bad. And I wanted to, actually, before I hung up, I wanted to curse her out. And I know that's not me, and that's not where I'm at anymore in life. And she just kept pushing my buttons by saying degrading things. It was like she was doing sneak diss and taking sneak shots at me. You know what I mean? Just poking the bear. And I just said to myself, you know, she said, well, I just want to let you know, again, no, just before she even got to that, she said, do you have a checking and routing, account number that you can give me so we can take these payments out? So I say, you know what? No problem. I don't usually like doing that, but I said for this, I'm going to handle it because God told me to. So I have a Capital One 360 account that I use just for these type of bills. That's how I got myself set up now. That's for that. And I have Wells Fargo that I use for my, regular bills and daily spending. So I gave her my Capital One 360 checking account number, and she put the routing number and account number in. And she said, we can't use this account. We need a real checking account. I said, ma'am, that is a real checking account. No, this is like Cash App. I said, ma'am, Capital One ain't never been like Cash App. So now I'm getting really, really, really irritated. And I'm like, Lord, help me, because I just don't want to go off on this lady. And she's really pushing my buttons, and she's really being degrading. And I know people are just people. They just can't help themselves. But I don't want to take this personal. So I said, ma'am, Capital One is known all over the United States of America and abroad. They have checking accounts. They have credit card accounts. They have Roth IRAs. They have high yield savings accounts. They have everything, every banking need that you would need. This is not a prepaid card. This is not a Cash App account. I'm sorry, but can you go speak to somebody and get a second, So she says, hold on for 1 second. I'm going to go speak to my manager. So she goes for like 5 minutes. She comes back. Yeah, we're not going to be able to use that account. So I'm taking a deep breath. I'm holding it together. She said, we would need an account like Wells Fargo or something. So in my head, I don't want to give her my Wells Fargo because I just don't want to give her the satisfaction. But you know what? The Lord said, peace be still. Let me fight your battles. I just said, I took a deep breath, and she says to me, well, if you don't have another account. No, she said, if you don't have a valid checking account. Excuse me, miss. We had this conversation already. You are really going to stop doing this. I'm just saying, I'm just holding it together. I'm telling you, I've grown. The Lord has really, really worked on me because this lady was about to get a thrashing of her life. I mean, she was about to get the thrashing of her life. But I held it together because I know what God said. So I said, she says, if you want, you can go tomorrow to the bank and open up a checking account just to pay this bill. I know y'all think I might be exaggerating, but this is the audacity. Not the audacity, the audacity of this lady. So I said to her, ma'am, hold on 1 second. I pulled out my other account. I gave it to her. She said, oh, this is Wells Fargo. I never told you that I didn't have a Wells Fargo. I never told you that I didn't have another account. I said that. So I gave it to her. She said, okay, I just want to reiterate again. The payment's going to come out on such and such for $150. Please make sure the funds are there before the deduction. If it is returned, it's a $35 fee. And I want to make you aware that Wells Fargo charges a $35 fee as well. Now I'm ignorant. Like, it's... But I'm holding it together because the Lord told me who I am. And I had to realize that I'm up here. And if I decided to match your energy, that means I got to come down here. And baby, I'm not coming down there. No, I'm not coming down there to meet you. I'm staying right up here. So then she says, also, I want to reiterate that I am doing this payment plan for you as a favor. If any of these payments are returned, I will report them to the collection agency. All of this sass and ass she was giving me. It was ridiculous. So we hung up the phone. I lie to y'all not. And you can look this up for yourself. Last night it popped up on my phone through Twitter and through the news app. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris passed a law that prevents all credit reporting agencies, consumer credit reporting agencies, are not allowed to report medical bills on your credit report at all. Not $500 or under that. They can't report them at all. This is something that they wanted to do before they left office this month. They said they want to make it possible for people to still get loans for cars, for houses, and for different things. And it's not their fault that they could not cover these astronomical medical costs. Now, I understand some people may feel like, well, who's going to pay for it? And then you have some doctors that, they want to make sure that they get their just due or whatever. I understand. But I also understand there's a lot of people out here that have these astronomical medical bills and they don't have the astronomical money to pay for it. They just don't. They're not in that bracket of earning. You know what I mean? They're at a place where they only are able to earn a certain amount of income. Everybody doesn't have that earning potential. And I think people need to realize that certain things, people just don't have the capability of earning but so much. It's reality. You know what I mean? There is not equality when it comes to that kind of stuff. I know people think, oh, you got to be a hustler. Oh, hey, son, how are you? I know people say, oh, you got to be a hustler. You could do this, you could do that. Yes, United States has many opportunities and you can make money. But as high as the cost is for certain things, the earning potential is not equal for everybody. Just like still to this day, some women do the same job as men and they still make less. Let's just be honest. It is what it is. So when I saw that this bill was passed, my first reaction was, and it went into effect immediately. My first reaction was, I'm not paying them nothing. I said, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to call Alex. That was her name. Her name Alex. And I'm not paying her nothing. I'm going to call her and let her know to cancel all those payments. And I'm going to let her know about herself. And I'm going to let her know you shouldn't do that anymore to people. Because if you threaten people about their credit, a lot of poor people could care less because they're just trying to eat and keep a roof over their heads. And then the rest of them going to feel like, well, y'all been ripping people off for years. So I'm not giving you a dime. I made the phone call. I left a message for her to call me back. Soon as I hung up the phone, I heard the Lord. I'm telling y'all. That's why people say he not real. I'm sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that you never made contact with him. I'm so sorry that you feel like he never answered the phone for you, the spiritual phone. I'm so sorry for you. Because for me at my house, he answers the call all the time. He said, daughter, be a woman of your word. He said to me, are you able to make the payments? I said, yes. He said, is it going to hurt you financially? I said, no. He said, have I been providing a way for you? I said, all the time. Then he said, and listen, I'm telling you, all this happened within a matter of minutes. He said, didn't I tell you to be a woman of your word? I sat there and I said, oh boy, this is getting deep. Then he said, you're supposed to be a lender and not a borrower. I said, you're right, Lord. That's why I paid off all my debt. And I'm still, I'm making sure I'm making all my payments on time. And I made that possible. Yes, you did, Lord. You pay your debtors. I'm probably saying it wrong. Lord, forgive me. But you pay your debts. You made a commitment to do it. If you didn't make a commitment to do it, and you couldn't afford to do it, then that's where the grace and mercy comes in that I allowed the government to extend. But you have a way and you have a means, and I provided it to you. What you going to do? When she calls back, I'm not going to accept the phone call, and I'm just going to go ahead and let all the withdrawals go through. He said, good job, daughter. That's how the conversation went. The lady called me. I hit ignore. I even had told my friend Ange, yeah, I'm canceling this, girl. Look at this article. I sent her a picture, let her see the article. Who she thinks she talking to? See, God don't like ugly. See, and I was being nice and I didn't snap on her. And now look, I'm going to hit her with this. I even told my friend Tim, yeah, 5 minutes later, I sent Ange a text. I said, Ange, I had to be a woman of my word. I'm not doing that. I caught myself. I said, I'm not going to be able to do that. She never responded. But she knows me. If I said that God told me to do something, but she don't question it. That's one thing she don't do. And that's why she's still my friend. She don't question anything I bring up about God. She don't question it. She leave it alone. And she listens to me. Tim, he the same way. He don't question it. Nothing. He leave it alone. They know I walk with him and I talk with him. I commune with him. I learn about him. So all I am saying to you guys is I hope you learn some information about the medical bill forgiveness that's set up. And I pray that if you are in a situation where you can't pay these bills and you have to decide between medical bills or food on your table, medical bills or a roof over your head, medical bills or your kids' tuition, medical bills or daily living, I pray that this program will be a blessing to you. If a medical bill pops up on your report, make sure that you challenge it. Make sure that you put in a dispute, because these things are there to help those people that need it. I'm not in a position that I need to do that, and I thank God for it. And I know that if you are a good steward over a little, gotta give you a lot. And I always say it. If you stay disciplined and be a woman of your word, gotta do many, many more things. So I had to share this testimony with you guys. I know it's 25 minutes, but I say, you know what? I didn't drop any content. I had some voiceovers and different things to share with you, but I hope this was a blessing, because not only did you get some information, but you got my testimony and you got to hear about the conversation that I had with God today and how I chose light over darkness. Listen, it's Shanista. If you like this kind of content and you like listening to me and I'm motivating you to live a better life, then please like, comment, subscribe, okay? And share it out with your friends and family. There's more to come as I live. I pray that you would want to live a better life by watching me. God bless y'all. And Happy New Year again, y'all. We still in the first month of 2025. Let's do it. And I got some more cash to cash stuff too. Boys adding up. I'm going to do that video with you guys. I've been setting the cash aside. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. God bless you.